This is a true story and obviously about the worst person I have ever dated. I advise nobody to give anybody a genuine shot with an STI, whether it is curable or not. Because if they were that reckless and uncaring about their body that they have to walk around in for the rest of their lives, then what makes you think they won't disrespect little old you in the moment that you see in them? I'll wait. Of course, this is my personal testimony. If I find out you have an STI, then I will part ways immediately. But if I see you around, I would not act weird around you or disclose it to anybody. Now, my worst dating experience in my entire life, I 100% hold myself accountable. Because as a man, I put myself in that situation and should have used my own discernment about this person, but your boy got a big heart. Sometimes a bit too big. Anyway, I met this chick at my best friend's birthday party as an add-on. In fact, both of her and her older brother, who I was cool with for 2 decades back when we were like teenagers, they were add-on. They both showed up halfway through the party, and I have to admit I did find her a little attractive. It was mainly her skin tone being my favorite for a woman, and she was wearing her natural hair. So I introduced myself and her brother shook up with me. One thing led to another and we traded TikToks, which eventually we ended up trading numbers like almost immediately right after that. We find out that I stayed literally walking distance from her house. She preferred to meet at her house more, so that's what we ended up doing. This was around mid to late December, and to be honest, at first I had a good time with her. She seemed chill, but they always seemed chill at first. She was hinting that she wanted something serious and how she had never been on an actual date before. I halfway didn't believe her, but I ain't call her a liar, I just listened because everybody walks different paths. Anyway, before we got intimate, she let me know she had herpes. Now, this is where I should have chucked the deuces, but in my head I did mental gymnastics and thought everything was going well. Plus, I was cool with her older brother and a couple of her siblings. And then on top of that, I did genuinely like her vibe, plus her story hit my heartstrings of how she got infected. She told me about her ex, you know the usual. Her ex didn't do anything for her, was jobless majority of the time they was together, and he stayed with her rent free. He ended up breaking up with her, and I cannot remember if he cheated and left or whatever, but it was not amicable. But one thing she said that he said that stuck out to me. He got infected messing around with someone after they broke up, double back acting like he cared for her, had sex with her multiple times in the same night unprotected, and cut her off. But before he did, he informed her that he had herpes and how much he ain't like her and how nobody was ever going to love her. With some more info. That hit my heartstrings. Very soft, I know. But I be having compassion for people, and this almost cost me my health. We ended up messing around with the condom and without a condom a few times. I was seeing her over the course of a few months. Prior to messing with her, I knew for a fact I was clean, but by the grace of the Most High, even during sin, I am still clean, but I will get to that later. I will admit that my birthday was around the first few weeks of us meeting, and she ended up buying me a bottle of Douce to celebrate with her, which I accidentally spilled on her couch due to her dog, which I will get to him later. Literally right after my birthday, our car broke down completely, like when it turned on it all break down. At this point, I was working first shift from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. most days, but sometimes I would be there till 3. Alright, so boom, you already know what happened. She asked me for rides and I obliged because I felt bad for her. She worked second shift from 3 to like 11, 10 or 11, one of those hours. Because I remember some days I could not take her to work because I was still at work and she would be late. But there were times where she waited for me to get off work because she had no other way to her job. Anyway, she worked clear across town from where we lived, and so was my job. So you can imagine the gas was adding up, but I foolishly did not charge her not 1 cent because I genuinely felt bad and wanted to help. God, I could kick myself again. In between this, we would go on little dates here and there, which I paid for every time. Basically just getting something to eat into the hot tub place in town. We also went to some R&B thing that was happening about 40 minutes from where we lived. But admittedly, she did pay for the tickets, but I paid for parking and gas as usual. So it gets to about a month of me driving her around, and it's more than just to her job and home. There were times she would call me asking me to bring her lunch on her lunch break, which I paid for majority of the time like a fool. There were times where I would be chilling and she would want to go grocery shopping. So I would take her like a fool and sometimes pay for it like a fool. The first time we went, I remember she acted like she forgot her wallet and went out to my car to get it. I waited patiently for her to come back, but she took longer than I thought, to the point where I knew she wanted me to just swipe my card, but I wasn't on that. I had just met her. Body language was off for the remainder of that day, which again, where is your discernment face? We had an incident with her mechanics that were working on her car around that time. Apparently they said they didn't have her keys and she informed them she left them there, so there was a heated exchange and she hung up and called me. I ended up taking her over there and she filled me in on how they lost her keys and being rude to her about it. So I went there for support. I went in there calm, but I spoke in a tone to let them know that they weren't going to push me around or her around. Not cussing, not demanding anything. Literally the tone that I'm speaking in right now, this is the tone I was using. Just a man trying to get to the bottom of a situation, real talk. But they was rude to me off belt, and instead of her taking my side, she started telling me to chill. But I wasn't even yelling or cussing or in any kind of attack mode. The sermon was lost once again there. So she went back to search the rest of the shop with the younger dude, and while they were back there, the owner flashed his gun at me. Now I hate bringing race into this, but the fact that they were rude to her on the phone, then rude to me, and now he flashing his gun at me on his waist, I immediately realized these people were racist and she don't got me into some foolishness. And I started looking around the room and just noticed some redneck stuff sitting around, but won't go into the detail what it was because it's irrelevant. I ended up going to my car and waiting for her because of this. And I kept trying to tell her I didn't feel safe and she kept brushing me off. She was too busy worrying about her car and worried about me not standing out there helping her. In my head, I was thinking, you lucky I just don't pull off and leave your ass here for real. So, long story short, we spoke about it about a day or two later, and I had recorded the conversation and we listened. We listened to them being rude and dismissive and acting like we were crazy and she lost her keys. And then I said, man, this some bitch ass shit. Under my breath that he gonna look at me and say, you a bitch. And then this woman looked right at me, dead in my eyes, and said, you cuss first. Completely ignoring everything preceding it and completely ignoring that I ain't even call him a bitch. I said the situation was because it was. How you gonna sit there and argue with the customer about their keys for 10 minutes? What in the actual fuck? So again, my discernment was off and I stayed. But that's a flaw with me and why I am done seriously dating, but I'll make a video about that. So you would think her car fixed now, right? Wrong. I'm still taking her to work, picking her up, taking her to the grocery store afterwards, taking her to the vet, picking up meds from the pharmacy for her, and a few other places I forgot about. It's not really important, but y'all get the gist. This was all on my dime, of course, as she never offered any gas money ever. And I was sacrificing sleep like a dumbass because, as I said, we worked 2 different shifts, which she could not ever grasp because she did not care about me at all. She was using me. Valentine's Day rolls around, and to be real, I'm not in the mood because at this point, we've been talking for over 2 months. I've been doing all this stuff for her. We ain't even official, so I'm not even in the mood to celebrate, to be real. But on the flip side, a lot of the reasons were already stated in my Valentine's Day video that I dropped a couple days ago. But I wasn't feeling it because by this point, I knew I had already spent at least $500 minimum on this chick, running her around everywhere in my car, burning my gas, plus all the dates I was footing and lunches I was taking up to her to work. Near the end of it all, I tallied up how much I spent and it was around $900. I know, very stupid of me. The entire class would clobber me if I was back in high school. I ain't get her too much of anything for Valentine's Day. I took her out, to a restaurant and got her some flowers. That's about it. She bought me cologne, which she kept pestering me to buy, but I don't wear cologne. I think it's a waste. Unless I'm going to like a wedding or something. Why am I just gonna walk around wearing cologne? I don't feel the need to wear it, but shout out if you do. She got upset that we didn't do much on Valentine's Day, and I was looking at her like, basically everything I just told y'all I did. That's how in my head I was like, now you're my girl and I already did all this, so whatever. Again, lacking discernment. A few weeks later, we still talking but not seeing each other as much since a couple weeks after Valentine's Day, her car got fixed, or she got it running as good as it was going to run to the point she could drive it. So I wasn't seeing her as much. Again, discernment. But by this time, I was catching feelings. She hit me in the heartstrings multiple times, saying how her and her dad not close despite wanting her to be close with him, how she felt like her family wasn't there for her when she needed them, which again, It's why I was helping her, because I genuinely felt bad. She spoke on how she doesn't really have friends because her so-called friends are always chasing dick or doing stuff without her for whatever reason. And she spoke on how much she missed her mother, and she broke down crying in bed. I held her and I told her it was gonna be okay because I had her, and I really meant that, truly. Anyway, a few weeks after Valentine's Day, she is at work, so I sent her a long message about how dope I think she is and how I got feelings for her. She didn't respond to it, so I did a double text and she said she read it, but she was busy, but she liked it. And to be real, this is where I should have woken up, but as I said, discernment was just not there. So fast forward about 2 weeks later, we are barely talking like that. I had met her friends that January, but it was obvious one of her friends didn't like me, which did inspire the lyric. That's why if a friend don't like me, I don't fuck with it. Deep down the clitoris just need a tongue kiss. Every bitch that never liked me always punchy as shit. It matters fuck that pussy never covered no rent. From everything I did released about 6 months ago, but written like 2 years ago. One Friday, she wanted to go out with her friends or whatever, but she said she wanted me in her house when she got home. I agreed and I asked what time, but long story short, our messages got misconstrued. And she ended up pulling up to my house with her friend, and she did call, I give her that. But at the time, I wasn't expecting her to call since she said she was at Walmart, then had to go home, and then coming to drop off her key to me, which wasn't new. I forgot to mention that while she was at work, I would be taking her dog out to use the bathroom, and I even washed her dishes multiple times because she said she never liked it. I did vacuum once or twice and wipe counters down, but it wasn't every single time I went there, so I ain't gonna flex that. I will say that I always made sure the house smelled good when I left because she was really into smell goods and a huge germaphobe at that. I did all that out of genuine care, for real. But past all that, I see she called and it hadn't even been 5 minutes since she called. I call her right when I see it and she said that she across town already and not coming back. But she expected me to stay up while she was out all night with her friends, which was hard to do, and I told her that. It was because I had been up since 6 a.m. and the plan was for me to take a nap over there and wake up when she got home. I was already irritated the plans fell through because, newsflash, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate making plans and then they just fall through. I stopped kicking it with people after that. I don't know why I didn't stop kicking it with her. But moving on, I held my composure and just said I would see her tomorrow morning. She told me that if I ain't come that night, that she didn't want to see me at all. The discernment again, from multiple times, went missing. So I ended up staying up till midnight when she finally got back to her place and went there. She started yelling at me and being disrespectful. So after she got done, I was trying to tell her calmly that if she yelled at me like that again, I'd be gone. And before I could explain why I wasn't gonna yell at her either, because she stayed in an apartment, and neighbors be quick to call the police and I can get hit with a domestic charge in the blink of an eye. She ended up cutting me off, so I just laid down while she ate, and then she asked for sex. But honestly, I was running on 20% at that point, dead tired, and I underperformed because of it and fell asleep directly afterwards. The next day, she got mad at me and cut things off. She got mad because I admittedly was still irritated from the previous night, but was still cordial with her. Because I was trying to give her a pass because she had a lot of liquor on her breath and she had never yelled at me before. So I was like, you drunk? And then she kept arguing with me. I wasn't drunk at all. So, it was all down here from there, really. But I was evaluating the situation entirely still and trying to sort through my feelings and slowly come to terms that my feelings and attention were being wasted. I had my coat in her room, but I usually brought out what I had with me to the living room. She asked me why I had my coat and if I was leaving. I said no, and she kept asking me about the coat and I said I'm not leaving. Because she kept drilling me about a coat directly after I woke up when I clearly told her I wasn't leaving and wasn't even wearing it. So yeah, I got irritated but did not say a word. She saw I was irritated and asked me if I was mad, and I let her know I was irritated and told her why. I explained how the previous night wasn't what's up, and how she keeps pestering me over a coat, and how I just wanted to chill and enjoy each other's company. She asked me to leave. I asked her if she done with me and she nods her head, so I leave. And then I will be real. A few days later, I called her and pulled up on her. And I let her know that I really care for her and I did everything I did because of that. I let her know previously I was worried I had what she had and she seemed to not care at all despite saying she cared for me. I ended up leaving. I called to check on her a couple of times afterward because, as I said, I really cared. But she was short and didn't want to talk. So I told her she played me and parted ways. Then I hit her up and unfollowed her on TikTok. She hits me up a month later saying she didn't play me and she wanted to talk through text message. I let her know in full that I felt she did play me and I listed everything I did for her carelessly as well as how I put my body at risk because she said she wanted something long term. She ended up basically making a joke out of it and that's when I saw red. I called her out her name and blocked her. She tried to call me but my AT&T Active Armor blocked the call, but the notification was there in the app. Her brother, the one I was cool with for over 2 decades, calls me and proceeds to try to check me. And then hangs up on me after I let him talk, which is the only reason I let him talk is because for one, I had respect for him, and for two, I have a sister too. I was going to speak with him like a man about the situation, but long story short, he wasn't on that and was just playing tough. Even when I tried to call him back and just say, look, man, I'm just trying to get an understanding. I was going to tell him how his sister moving out here, basically acting like she like people to get as much as she can out of them. And then she just trying to spread her disease around. That's why I was going to let him know, but he wouldn't even let me talk. So, fuck him too if he see this. I already done told him that anyway. Pussy ass nigga. I don't got mad again. Hold on. But anyway, when I stepped outside that night to smoke a black and mild on my side porch, I saw her car and his car circle my block. My old house was at the edge of a cul-de-sac, but I ain't care. I blocked him too and moved on. Now the STI test was stressful. After our encounter, I tested for everything and everything came back negative. But the doctor told me since I was exposed to the virus that it wasn't very reliable since the testing was too soon. I waited a few months and got tested again, and this time the HSV2 test came back equivocal. My heart dropped. The doctor assured me that it did not mean I was infected, but that I was exposed or whatever. I was super nervous. The next time I tested was about 3 months after that, and this test had everything negative. And ever since then, I've had multiple tests. Since then, I get tested like every 6 months, and everything has been negative. But yeah, I was so relieved, but I was literally stressed about this for the entirety of 2023. I wasn't sleeping well and went through severe depression. I had next to no appetite. I didn't even want to hang out with my friends and was isolating outside of going to work. When the test came back negative, I was happy and felt I could put all this behind me and move on in a serious way. Oh, I forgot to mention, in between the time I took the second and third test, I reached out to her through text because even though she did me dirty, in my opinion, and probably y'all opinion too, even though, like I said, I was lacking discernment, so I blame myself entirely. I do not call women out their name, or at least I try not to. So I was going to apologize for that and bury the hatchet. She ignored my text completely, so I didn't bother ever again. I seriously was going to ignore and act like I did not know her whenever I saw her. But you know what she did? I would see her at Walmart, a hood grocery store, and gas stations, and avoid her. But when we locked eyes, she would grin at me as if she was laughing at me. The first time it happened, I was like, whatever, man. Hoes will be hoes, and I kept it moving. But then after the third time of randomly seeing her, she always did that. And something clicked in my mind. This broad not only takes pleasure in her playing me and trying to get her brother to fight me, but she also finds it hilarious that she assumes she burnt me. And at that moment, I let it stew in my head. I started getting angry and realizing it was all a play to get as much out of me as she could, then dish me like a piece of trash. And I'm tired of feeling like that, y'all, for real. Even some of my worst exes were not this heartless. In fact, I see some of the ones I don't like and we actively avoid each other. We don't even look at each other. But this broad, I saw her as pure evil. Because how are you out here playing damsel in distress, acting like you want something long term while caring for somebody, and then dish them directly after they catch feelings? And then knowing you got herpes, find it funny months later, don't even know if the test was clean or not, don't even know my mental stability, nothing. But you find all that hilarious. Fuck that bitch, man, for real. One day I saw her again at the hood grocery store. I was parked on the side waiting for my grandmother to come out the store and keeping the car warm as she hates the cold. I saw this broad walk slowly, dramatically in front of my car, grinning hard as hell in a twisted way, and this time I locked eyes with her completely. At that point, I knew it was funny. She thought she burned me. This is the holiday season and I wait till after New Year's and I blast her in a manic post. as well as a couple of my exes I did not care for at all. Not excusing what I did, I understand I was below the belt, but I only had like 200 friends on my Facebook and my old IG was just over 100 followers. I was really just venting on my story, really. And the status that I posted on Facebook back then, I deleted it by like the next day. But anyway, apparently they got a hold to her family and they have all been spreading rumors about me around town ever since. At first I thought it was all in my head until 2 out of 3 of the women I dated after her wanted to see my chart because they quote unquote heard things. I had no issue showing my status because I am clean, but here's the thing. Before I dated her, I never had to go to such links. Before I dated her, I never had people I don't know trying to heckle me. I had some random woman that looked like her family take a pic of my car and license plate, for example. I have had random hood rats heckle me, and I don't argue with women, so I just ignore them. I really don't argue, period, even when I was confrontational. I will let you say what you had to say and wait for you to swing while looking you dead in your eye. I got random wannabe thugs mugging me, acting like they want to do something to me, but don't even say a word unless it's from a distance. And it's all over lies. It just ain't worth it. And to be real, I tried to date afterwards, but my heart just stayed into it no more. I feel like I'm all used up, y'all. Real talk. I also forgot to mention sometime in the story, I guess somebody at her job was selling a puppy or something, and she wanted me to randomly buy her one. And that was one of the last times that I actually had a conversation with her. Because after I said no, she kind of just ghosted me. And then when I got in contact with her again, that's when she was just like, all right, I don't even want to really talk to you no more. And at the end of the day, I blame myself completely. So many red flags down to her lack of communication skills where if we spoke for a long time, even in a non-aggressive way, she would get overwhelmed. Red flags like obviously the sob story after sob story trying to get me to feel bad for her, that asking me for stuff with little to no reciprocation, and obviously the fact that she has herpes. And look, I get it. Anybody can get a disease. Anybody if you're not careful. But I'm sorry, this is the final time that I would ever give someone with a disease a fair shake. Because she turned out to be the worst of everybody I have ever dated from my teen years through my 20s and 30s. And I have a lot going on and have had a lot going on since around the time I started seeing her till now. And now I gotta deal with random dick eaters that do not even know me, never try to speak to me not one day in their life, but because her burnt out shared whatever sob story she shared and painted me a villain and her dick eating family co-signed it. People act like I killed Kenny around here, y'all. Yeah, like I'm just despicable. Not everybody, but it's to the point where, you know, I'm seeing it more. You feel me? And it's by people that don't even know me. Never spoke to me, never had one word to me, nothing. I just can't wait to move about this hellhole. That's a whole nother video that I'll break down why I want to move. This is one of the reasons. There are dudes I know literally beating women, using women for money, raping women, and basically just being assholes. And everybody shakes up with them, including the women. But me, oh no, you outed a burnt out. That's far worse than what we have ever seen before. Shame on you, face. The funny part is, ever since high school, her family said I was real. They even told her I was good people, and none of them ever tried to speak to me about this even back then. And because of this situation, I have said some things I cannot take back regarding the starting her dick-eating family because they going around dick-sucking me to whoever will listen to them. And these slow people take everything they say to heart and never bother to approach me and speak to me. Just whisper and laugh at me from afar like the bottom feeders they are. Instead, they run around like professional ass eaters spreading their bullshit in the air out of pure boredom. So take it from face. Do not date anybody with an STI. I don't care if it's your crush from a long time ago or a celebrity that you idolize on TV or social media. Don't do it. I do not care if you know our people and y'all go way back. I do not care. Do not do it. And that goes for women too. Don't date anybody with an STI. It's not worth it. And chances are in this world, the shit is not going to work out. And you run the risk of always having the gift that keeps on giving, all because you thought they were the one, but they were only the one to waste time on. That's it. That's all. And that about wraps up this horrible dating story. I really want to know what y'all horrible dating stories are, so let me know down below. And I literally just ran over a lot of red flags. But a lot of it was because Like I said, I was really cool with her family, and I was giving her the benefit of the doubt because of that. But it turned out they're not good people either, just like her, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Fuck 'em. Much love, everybody. I don't got heated a little bit just thinking about it, but yeah, this was therapy. Appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel for more realness. It's your boy, holla at him. Face signing.